If you are an engineer on an H-1B, you probably check the visa bulletin dates frequently, maybe several times a week, but don't just focus on dates. Dates are important. The visa bulletin priority dates are important. Focus on definitions. With the Trump's administration's focused on merit-based systems, the way the Immigration Service is interpreting extraordinary ability is shifting. And so today I am going to break down three policy nuances that every engineer needs to keep in mind for their EB1A visa strategy in 2026. Okay, update number one. The STEM specific evidence standard focuses on more detail, right? So more detail showing a higher merit, I guess. But what you need to keep in mind is that even though there's greater scrutiny and the details matter, don't provide kind of generic, vague employment letters. You have to show impact and you have to show details. There is greater scrutiny, so don't embellish. Make sure everything that you're saying is credible, but add relevant detail. So, for example, don't say, I managed a team. Okay, say instead, I managed a critical infrastructure project that saved $2 million. Update number two. So the O1 visa, many of you may already know the O1 visa is a work visa, but the requirements for the O1 mirror the requirements for the EB1A. However, because the O1 visa is a work visa, the standards are lower. So even though the criteria requirements are similar, the EB1A, because it's a green card visa, the standards and the scrutiny is much, much higher. But the O1 is often a good indicator of whether you will meet the EB1A visa. So if you have an O1 approval, you can take it as a good indicator that you could potentially meet the EB1A visa requirements. So again, the O1, you can't self-petition. You do need an employer to sponsor you. But if you're trying to get away from priority dates and things like that are slowing you down, and you already have an O1, like I said, take a look and see how much more evidence and detail you can provide for the EB1A, because they do mirror each other. Update number three. And I wanted to talk about the national interest waiver. The national interest waiver is in the EB2 category, but it's also a self-petition visa. So you don't need an employer. And if you don't have a priority date yet, and you feel that you could qualify under the national interest waiver, then you will be able to self-petition, get a priority date. Even though it's still in the EB2 category, you can at least lock in a priority date. But for the national interest waiver, the update policy guidance is to focus on the national importance, benefit to the U.S., and this is more important for the national interest waiver than for the EB1A. So the Trump administration is focused on technology that align with U.S. strategic interests. So, for example, AI, semiconductors, cybersecurity. The rule here is that if your work touches these sectors, your NIW argument really just got stronger, because the focus of the NIW is national importance. So if you are a software engineer and you're considering the NIW, think about reframing your work to align with these types of critical emerging technologies, and look at the list released by the White House of critical technologies. Immigration law is dynamic, right? It's moving constantly. It's moved a lot and shifted in the last year with the new Trump government. And you need to keep up to date, especially in the area of EB1A visas. It's already a complex area of immigration law, and it's very easy for the government to, sneak in adjustments, new interpretations, like at any moment. So if you want to know if your engineering profile meets the EB1A visa requirements, don't guess, contact our office and we'd be happy to help you.